Hey guys, clearly I just got home from work. I'm still in my scrubs, but I just wanted to make this quick video and talk about 4 things I wish I knew while I was in college that probably would have made my journey slash application process to medical school 10 times easier. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase and get right into it. First thing that I wanted to talk about is actually more pertinent to the earlier years of college, and that's to make sure that you look through all of the requirements for the schools that you are interested in. Meaning, if you want to apply to Florida International University's med school, make sure that you are able to fulfill all of those requirements. Do they want organic chemistry 1 lab? Do they want organic chemistry 2 lab? Do you need physics? Do you need biochem? So make sure that you know what all of those requirements are so that you're able to fulfill them and you're not scattering, running around your senior year of college trying to fulfill these recs. And that way you don't have to pay tuition at another institution after you graduate trying to kind of make up for those missed courses, which is a scenario that I unfortunately had to suffer through. So I actually took organic chemistry, but I got a C when I was at Florida State when I was doing my undergrad. What am I saying? Instead of retaking it during undergrad, I retook it at FIU when I moved back home. And yeah, the course was way easier than the first time I took it, but I had to pay tuition for this other school that I didn't go to. So while it is an option and you can do it, I would not recommend waiting last minute to take courses to fulfill your recs. So talk to your pre-health advisors, talk to your university counselors or whatever it is that you have available to you. And of course, do your own research to make sure that nobody's wrong, because I wouldn't 100% rely on them. Do whatever you want. The next thing I wanted to mention, which is also pertinent to the earlier years of schooling, is you will see the material again. Meiosis, electron configuration, centripetal force, it's gonna come back up. It's gonna be on your MCAT, you will see it again. And even if it's not on your MCAT, you have to study it for your MCAT. So if you don't understand it the first time, really try to learn the information, not to memorize it, but to actually understand it. And I know that for most of us, that is the goal, right? You want to understand the information well enough in order to pass the class. But if you go through college with the notion that I just need to pass this class, or I'm just going to memorize it, or I'm just going to cheat, or whatever it is that you're going to do, just remember that there is an ultimate goal, which is to take your MCAT if you are doing pre-med, and passing with a decent score, a competitive score. So just make sure that you know enough of the material in order to feel good and to feel like you're at a good level compared to your peers when it is time for you to start studying for the MCAT. Because it is really easy to get away with not 100% knowing meiosis, not 100% knowing mitosis, or, the Hardy-Weinberg equation while you're taking the class, but it will come back up. It will. And you'll learn that the hard way. So if possible, start making yourself a little booklet, maybe use a notebook and start writing information. Just learn everything as best as you can when you're taking the course, and it's going to save you a ton of time in the future when you are doing your MCAT prep, because a lot of it you already have understood. Does this mean that you won't have to do content review? No, because you will still have to review and skim over information. But it's completely different when you have an understanding of the concept and you're doing, a quick review versus having to do an in-depth dive of an entire course because you didn't really study and take the time the first time. So take the time the first time, or you're going to be forced to spend even more time learning it the second time. Up to you. The third one is one that will hit you like a ton of bricks, and that is people are smarter than you. Some people will take their diagnostic MCAT exam and score a 528. I'm not kidding. My friend scored a 527 on his first time doing a diagnostic exam while I was in like the 480s, okay? Either one is perfectly fine. Obviously, you want to have the higher score, but use it as fuel. The fact that other people are better than you, the fact that other people are smarter than you, that you're studying maybe longer hours than this person, maybe they know everything, and maybe they just guessed right. Whatever the situation might be, use it as fuel and not as a way of putting yourself down. Because at the end of the day, it's very easy for us to compare ourselves to our peers, to our friends, especially when we're doing something as difficult as this exam. Use it as fuel, use it to explain information to each other. maybe, you got a question right, they got a question wrong, and, just talk about it, make sure that you're helping each other and not putting each other down. And it's very important to not feel less than the people that you're studying with, no matter what the number says. So use it as fuel. Don't let yourself be put down by the numbers on the screen. Been there, done that. There's two options. There's two ways that you can look at this and look at your struggles and comparing yourself to other people. You can go the easier path, and that's telling yourself, I can't do it. It's really hard. I'm not going to be able to reach my peers. It's too competitive. I'm not smart enough. And give up. You can do anything else. Not saying that other fields in healthcare are easier. I'm not saying that nursing, PT, PA, social work, none of those things are easier. But if that's not what you originally wanted, you're going to use it as an out, right? Because it's near what you wanted, but not quite there. And the second option is to say, I'm scared. I don't feel very smart. I'm going to use this to fuel me and to come back better. And even if I don't come back better, they're going to see that I kept trying and I didn't give up, even if everything was telling me to do so. And that's honestly what I wrote a lot of my personal statement and a lot of my secondary application questions about. I talked about how I was constantly comparing myself to my peers, how I felt like I was, at a disadvantage compared to the people that I was studying and going to school with. And hey man, I made it to the secondaries. Let's see how much farther I get, but fingers crossed, we make it there. The last one is what I consider to be the most important one as somebody that recently graduated from college. And spent a lot of time studying. I mean, if you guys watch my videos from a year ago when I started my channel, it was me in my college apartment with my roommates who I miss every single day. And, it was nice. I had the library to my university that was open 24 hours. I had a study room in my building that was open 24 hours. Sometimes we would literally put our desks all together in the living room for finals week, and we would just study all together on the couch, in the living room, on the floor. We'd have study groups with our friends, and I don't have that anymore. And as sad as it sounds, take advantage of it while you still have it, because you're not going to have it forever, sadly enough. So not to make this like nostalgic or sad, but have fun with your friends while you can. This does not mean to negate your responsibilities, to not take care of yourself, to not study, to not, make sure that you're dealing with your responsibilities. But I need you to understand that you need to schedule your time for studying and study. When you're studying, you are studying hard, okay? You're studying 100%, so that the rest of the time, when you are able to set aside time for your friends, you can also be 100% there. My problem was that I would want to be out with my friends, but in the back of my mind, I felt guilty for having fun, guilty for not studying. I should be studying right now, I shouldn't be having fun, I have an exam coming up, and all these things where I'm neither here nor there. I'm neither studying or having fun with my friends. So have fun when you're out, you're out. When you're with your friends, you're with your friends. Make enough time for yourself to study that you don't feel guilty when you are with your friends having a good time. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Sometimes it's good to have a study buddy. Study buddy? Sometimes it's good to have a study buddy. I mean, my roommate Didi and I, we would literally spend hours upon hours studying and be like, all right, we're going to study from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then at 10 p.m., we're going to meet our friends out at the club. And we would walk our little happy asses over to the club, meet our friends for a couple drinks, and then go back home and study again the next day. So don't burn yourself out. It's very important to take care of yourself. Obviously, I'm not encouraging drinking or doing anything dangerous that you don't want to do, but if you would like to spend time with your friends and or hang out, or even if it doesn't mean going out and drinking, like what I was saying, which I didn't do that often, by the way. We didn't drink often. If you don't want to do that, cool, dude. Separate time to watch Netflix in your pajamas. That's fine too. I feel like this video was pretty quick, but those 4 things are just some things that I wish I knew when I was in college that would have made my college experience easier, my pre-med application easier, and my journey to medical school easier, okay? Make sure that you fill those requirements for the schools you're interested in. You will see the material again. Learn your shit in class. Go to class, attend class, pay attention, take notes, do the best you can so that you don't have to spend more time when you look at it again Some people are smarter than you. Don't take it personally. Have them help you. Ask them questions. How are you studying? How can I do better? You want to study together? Can you explain this question to me? So use it as fuel and encouragement. Don't let it make you feel like shit. And the last one is enjoy time with your friends while you can. There is a way to still have fun with your friends, be in college, and pursue a medical degree, okay? And a lot of the questions on my secondary applications for medical school ask you about hobbies, activities, things you enjoy, how you are going to maintain good mental health while you are in medical school. They don't want robots. They don't want people that are going to sit in silence in a dark corner studying for hours. They want real people. So give them real people. As always, let me know in the comments if something stood out for you, if this was useful. Don't tell me if it wasn't useful. It's just gonna hurt my feelings. But now I can finally shower. I've been awake for too long. And yeah, wish me luck on this application process because I am so scared.